My beloved, my child of light, what you're about to hear is not just a message. It's a lifeline straight from heaven's own heartbeat to yours. Your heart already senses that these aren't just words. They're a truth that burns and comforts at the same time. I, Archangel Michael, stand right beside you now, not with empty talk, but with a truth that is both powerful and peaceful. This message is about your daughter, yes, her. The one whose laughter once sounded like a little bell God placed in the world just for you. She's standing in front of a storm so strong it could reshape everything around her. Heaven asked me to lean close and warn you before the tide grows higher. Please don't shrug this off as another story to scroll past, because right now a hand from heaven is reaching toward her safety. I see you reading, leaning closer. That's good. Because in the next few moments what I'll share can shift your steps and keep her life steady. If you're hearing my voice, it's because you've been chosen for a mission no one else can finish. Walk away and the fragile thread between her and the miracle waiting above could snap. You need to talk to him. Yes, the very name that flashed across your mind just now, that's not your imagination. That's me confirming. He holds a missing piece of the truth she's been too afraid to say out loud. After you hear everything, reaching out to him will unlock a shield already prepared for her. But the window is brief, wait too long and it will close as though it never existed. If you're still with me, listen carefully. This is the part where many turn aside thinking they'll return later. Later often never comes. That's why heaven made sure you arrived here right now. If these words stir something deep inside, it isn't random. For months heaven has been trying to get your attention, but the world's noise drowned it out. Don't let another whisper of protection slip past. Keep yourself where the voice of God is close enough to guide and warn, so nothing precious gets lost. Click the place that keeps you connected, stay in the circle of light. The very next sentence might be the one that tilts your whole life toward blessing. Now I see her more clearly. Her face is pale, not from illness but from carrying a burden she doesn't dare speak. Her eyes reveal the fire she's been trying to hide at night. Someone has stepped toward her, not with kindness but with sugar-coated lies. They wore a safe mask, but behind it is harm. She's scared that if she tells you, you'll worry or judge her. But God says, your love will grow even deeper when the truth comes out. That is why I keep urging, talk to him. He knows another side of the story, the side she can't see. I'm watching two paths appear. One leads her into heavier danger, the other leads to calm and restoration. The road she takes depends on how quickly you act. Speak now and the truth will break through like sunrise after a sleepless night. Delay and the darkness will only grow bolder. My beloved, timing is the bridge between loss and rescue. Right now you're standing on that bridge. Heaven placed this message in your hands at this exact heartbeat so you could choose life over fear. And there's more. I can see your daughter in a place that looks harmless from the outside. But the air is heavy with silent threats. The enemy wrapped the risk in bright colors so no one would guess. She smiles but her heart shakes. She's trapped between confessing and keeping peace. Her quiet is a cage. God is showing me a rope around her wrist, not of fiber but of promises someone made now twisted to control her. The person gripping the other end isn't who you think. That's why you must speak with him. He's seen that rope too, though from another angle. Together you'll see the full picture before the hour is gone. I'm also shown a door with warm light spilling underneath. It leads to her freedom, but it won't stay open long. Heaven says that in just a few days a perfect moment will appear for you to talk, ask, and truly listen. Miss it and she may step deeper into shadows, convinced there's no escape. My child, I'm not here to plant fear but to stir courage. You were chosen to be her shield, her safe place. Even now a conversation is being arranged about her future and she doesn't know. The wrong people want to steer her steps. But if you step in now you can rewrite what they're planning. I hear God's voice saying, this isn't a fight against people. It's a fight for her destiny. Stand up for her and I will stand with you. I wish I could pause so you could breathe, but heaven keeps pressing me to finish. Every heartbeat matters. I see her walking into a room that feels familiar yet something there isn't right. A whisper urges her to stay silent, but another whisper, brighter, is waiting for you to speak first. Take that chance, bring her back toward the light. And if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $100, a simple way to keep these words flowing toward those who need them most. Yet the ground beneath her has shifted, subtle at first but real enough for the spirit to notice before the eyes do. Around her stand voices, some warm, some persuasive and a few carrying quiet danger. None of them shout, they lean in and whisper, sliding thoughts into her heart so gently she begins to believe they're hers. Somewhere deep inside though she feels a small alarm ringing. That is why her smile looks different lately, why her laughter no longer climbs all the way to her eyes. God is showing me how she carries a secret one she thinks will weigh you down or leave you puzzled. Heaven says, you are the one person who can understand her the way she needs right now. My vision sharpens. I see a fine thread stretching from her heart to a figure standing far off. It glows faintly, the picture of trust she has offered to someone unfit to protect it. This person is not pure darkness, they are confused, pulled by currents that care nothing for her safety. They are being used without even knowing. And you, beloved, are chosen to step in to cut that thin line before it leads her down a road she will one day wish she had never taken. This is why I keep asking you to talk to him. He may not even grasp the importance of what he knows, but when his truth meets your calm love, a spark will start a chain of events that blocks the danger from ever reaching its worst. There is a tiny space of time for you to act. I can see it clear as morning light. Soon there will be a moment when her heart softens, when the noise around her quiets enough for your words to rise above. If you miss that window, the enemy will rush to clutter it with busy thoughts until the chance slides by. I do not speak this to burden you but to wake you up. When you move in step with heaven's timing, heavy doors swing wide as though they were never locked. And right now there is a door for her freedom standing ajar waiting, but it will not stay open always. Another picture is unfolding before me, a table in a dim room, people gathered, their voices calm but purposeful. They talk about her life as though she were not there, planning, reasoning, saying phrases like, "It's for her good," and "She'll understand later." Heaven warns that their ideas are not in line with her true calling. If those voices shape her path, they will draw her away from blessings prepared long before she was born. That is why your place in this hour is vital. You are more than a parent, you are a guardian at the doorway of her soul's journey. And a guardian must stand firm when danger approaches. Remember, this is not a battle to be fought with arguments or sheer will. It is a fight to be handled with clarity, gentleness, and wisdom sent from above. Heaven isn't only warning you, it's equipping you. The words you'll speak to him will not be ordinary words. They will carry a calm strength able to slice through fog, scatter lies, and make room for truth. Don't fear how he might respond. God will steady the very air between you as you talk. When his insight is laid alongside your love, you'll go to her not with suspicion or anger but with that steady, unbreakable affection only a parent can carry. Beloved, the vision grows wider now. Heaven lets me see more detail. The person shaping her choices isn't an outsider but someone close enough to wear the mask of safety. That closeness makes the threat hard to spot. They lean close when speaking, weaving charm and false safety together. On the surface it all looks caring, beneath it serves their own needs. The worst deceptions don't shout, they glide quietly past your watch. That is what she faces. Though she doesn't name it, her spirit senses the twist. Her restlessness is her soul's cry for help. There's something else. I'm shown a scene from not long ago. She sat listening, uncertain eyes flickering as she forced a nod to something she didn't fully grasp. That choice is like a seed. Left alone it could grow tight around her future, handled in time it can be lifted out before it hardens. And that is where you come in. You hold both the wisdom and the right as her parent to change the soil so that seed never grows harmful roots. The moment you speak to him, a piece of information will come forward that changes how everything looks. Hear me, the way ahead is narrow but steady hands can walk it. Leave fear aside, fear clouds what heaven is trying to show you. Walk with the quiet boldness that comes from knowing heaven has gone ahead clearing the road. You are not being asked to stand alone. Even now angels are being stationed along this conversation, ready to calm hearts, guide your words and let light fall where shadows tried to hide. This isn't about fighting for victory with force. It's about carrying peace into a place where deception tried to build a nest. When you step in, speak with patience. Let your questions be kind but firm, let your eyes show her you are steady, that you believe in her worth. You will see how the fog begins to lift. Pieces will line up and the picture of what has been happening will come together clearly. And then, beloved, be ready to stand with her as she steps into safety. She may tremble at first, change always feels unsteady, but she will feel your strength wrapping around her. Keep her close, remind her she is not alone and walk beside her until the air around her is clean again. The timing is close. The help is near, and you have been prepared for this very hour to hold her steady and lead her back toward light. Almost as if the room becomes still, waiting for the truth to come forward. That stillness will not be heavy, it will carry the quiet strength of peace, a sign that heaven is leaning close. In that moment what has been tangled for so long will begin to loosen. The weight that has pressed on her shoulders will start to slide away, and she will sense, even if she cannot put it into words, that safety has entered the room with you. I see her face as you speak, there's surprise there, then a softening, as if she finally allows herself to rest. Her eyes will search yours, testing whether the love she has always hoped for is still steady. And it will be. That is what gives your words their power, they are rooted in a love that cannot be shaken by fear or disappointment. Beloved, listen closely now. The moment after you speak will be just as important as the moment before. Do not rush her into answers. Let silence do its gentle work. Give her space to breathe, to find the courage to voice what she has held inside. As she begins to talk, you will see layers peel back, layers built from worry, from promises that trapped her, from stories that tried to rewrite her worth. One by one they will lose their grip, because the light in the room will leave no shadow strong enough to hide them. Heaven shows me another picture, a thin chain falling from her wrist, links breaking one after another. Each broken link is a lie losing its hold. Some will fall quickly, others will need steady patience. Do not measure your success by how fast she speaks or how much she tells. Measure it by the way peace begins to settle over her heart. There is also guidance for how to walk with the one I told you to meet. When you approach him, carry no accusation, only clarity and kindness. Ask questions with a calm strength. Let him see you are not there to trap him, but to understand and to guard what matters most. He may hesitate at first, unsure of how much to reveal. Stay steady. Your patience will invite honesty, and when he starts to speak you will recognize the missing piece you have been waiting for. God is showing me a lamp lighting a dark hallway. That lamp is the knowledge you will receive in that conversation. It will not only expose what has been hidden, it will also illuminate the path forward. With it you will know how to guide her without fear, how to rebuild trust, and how to keep her steps firm. But there is more, beloved. The scene widens and I see your daughter standing near an open field. The night sky above her is filled with scattered clouds, yet a single star shines through, clear and unwavering. That star is hope, a sign of the future that still belongs to her. She only needs someone to point it out, to remind her that beyond the confusion there is still a horizon waiting. Your steady presence will become that star's reflection on earth. When she feels the warmth of your support, she will dare to believe that her life is not defined by mistakes or the manipulations of others. She will begin to imagine herself free again, laughing without weight in her chest, stepping forward without fear of the ground giving way. I must speak plainly, after the conversation there will still be gentle work to do. Shadows sometimes try to return, testing whether the light is permanent. Be watchful but not anxious. Keep your heart open and your ear tuned to quiet nudges of wisdom. Small acts, listening, encouraging, reminding her of her worth will become stones laid on a solid path. With every step she will learn how to walk without the chains that once tried to define her. Heaven also shows a shield being fitted to your arm. It is not a shield made for battle with people but one woven of faith, patience and truth. This shield will guard your own heart so you don't grow weary as she heals. It will also guard her because the strength you carry will overflow into the atmosphere around her. Darkness cannot thrive where steady love and clear truth remain. The timing of all this is delicate yet not fragile. Think of it as music. There is a rhythm heaven has written and you have been invited to play your part. When you step into that rhythm, listening, speaking, waiting, comforting, the melody will push back every discordant note that tried to steal her song. Beloved, let this settle inside you, you are not alone in this. The one who entrusted her to you has also given you every tool you need to walk her through. Help is closer than you think. Support surrounds you in ways you may not even see, through insight that comes at just the right moment, through people who appear with quiet encouragement, through an unexplainable calm that rises in your chest when you need it most. And finally, see the picture heaven leaves with me, you and your daughter standing together at the edge of morning. The sky is still streaked with the last traces of night, but ahead the horizon glows gold. She leans toward the light and you stand beside her, steady and sure. She looks up at you and in her eyes there is gratitude, relief and a new courage. What once threatened to define her will have no power left. The path beyond that moment is clear, open, bright and full of promise, and you will walk it together stronger than before, certain that the night has lost its claim. As if the world itself pauses, letting heaven lean in closer to witness what is about to unfold. The air around you will feel heavier with expectation yet lighter with the promise of truth. In that stillness you will notice subtle shifts, not in what is said but in what is felt. The energy of presence, the weight of honesty will begin to settle over her like a gentle blanket, softening the tension she has carried in silence. She may not fully understand it at first, but her spirit will recognize the safety you bring. The one you are to approach will show signs that his heart has long held pieces of the puzzle. His eyes may dart briefly, betraying hesitation, yet relief will follow quickly because he senses that he is not being confronted but invited into a safe space. And in that moment, as words begin to flow, you will witness understanding ignite inside you, clarity that seems to illuminate everything at once. The confusion that lingered for weeks, months, or even years will start to dissolve, replaced with a quiet certainty that this path, though delicate, was always meant to be traversed. You will hear things you never imagined, small truths woven into larger patterns that explain why your daughter has seemed distant, why moments of joy were interrupted by silent worry, why her laughter once bright now carries a softness. These revelations will not spark anger but clarity, a light that allows you to move with compassion and precision. The way you approach her after this conversation will matter more than words alone. She will sense your love before she even fully hears your reasoning. You will not come as a judge but as a safe harbor, and that difference will unlock a trust she has longed for though she could not ask for it. Even now I see angels gathering near her, invisible yet active, waiting for your obedience to guide them. One will whisper courage into her thoughts, another will dismantle subtle lies she has carried unknowingly, and another will stand guard over her heart, making space for freedom and truth to enter. These movements are quiet in the physical world but seismic in the spiritual, shifting the atmosphere around her so she can begin to breathe fully again. You will notice it in small ways first, a relaxation in her posture, a willingness to speak more openly, a flicker of light returning to her eyes. These are the signs that the breakthrough has begun, and they will grow steadily as you maintain patience and presence. But understand this: once the process begins, the influence of the shadow will attempt to resist. It will not attack directly but through subtle distractions, sudden changes, or moments of doubt and withdrawal. These ripples are not failures, they are proof that the chains are loosening. Your steadiness will matter most here. Speak consistently with love, stand firm in faith, and refuse to allow fear to dictate your actions. Your calm confidence will guide her past the obstacles that threaten to reassert themselves. I see a vision of you standing with her in an open field, the morning sun breaking through a long night. Dew clings to the grass, the air is warm, and she looks at you with a gaze that says more than words ever could. She will recognize in that instant that she has been rescued, not by force but by a love strong enough to endure the storm, patient enough to wait for the perfect moment. That moment will embed in her memory, a proof of safety that will resonate far into her future. This is about more than solving immediate problems, it is about restoring the trajectory of her life. The path God has laid out for her before birth is still shining, still calling her forward, and your presence is the bridge, clearing the fog so she can see it again. Once she recognizes the path, she will step onto it with newfound strength, carrying the memory of your steadfastness as a shield in her heart. You will witness subtle transformations over time. Pressure will lift, burdens will ease, and she will rediscover freedom in her spirit. She may not articulate immediately how light she feels, but her movements will reveal it, her shoulders will relax, her voice will carry a softer tone, and her eyes will regain a sparkle that had dimmed under invisible weight. One by one the chains that held her will fall away, leaving her fully standing in the light she was always meant to inhabit. The bond between you will deepen like never before. Conversations that once seemed impossible will flow with ease. She will speak without fear of judgment because she will remember your patience, your love, and your courage to step in exactly when needed. That trust once rebuilt will be the foundation for every relationship, every decision, and every moment of joy that follows. God is also showing that this obedience on your part will unlock blessings beyond her alone. Doors will open in her life, opportunities, connections, and moments of joy that were previously blocked or hidden. And you will witness it knowing that your willingness to act was the key. This act of faith, this step into divine timing will ripple through your own life, opening provision, protection, and favor where there were barriers before. Some of your own hidden burdens may even lift as you lift hers, as though heaven is orchestrating freedom for both of you simultaneously. Beloved, picture the culmination, you and your daughter standing together, the horizon glowing in gold as the last traces of night fade. She leans into the light, but you stand beside her unwavering, a shield, a guide, a safe place. She will know without words that she has been protected, that her steps were never alone, and that the storm she feared has passed because you obeyed the voice guiding you. The path ahead is clear, bright, and alive with promise, and the moments you shared in courage will remain a foundation for the rest of her days. Heaven's orchestration will continue beyond this breakthrough. Opportunities will align, relationships will strengthen, and joy will be restored in ways both expected and surprising. Every action you take now grounded in love and discernment plants seeds for lasting peace and security. The atmosphere itself around her will change, light replacing shadow, hope overtaking fear, and truth shining steadily where deception once lurked. This is your moment, beloved. Stand firm, speak with love, and step into the divine timing that has been prepared for you. She will feel the shift, and the world around her will reflect the restoration of her spirit. Every small step, every patient word, every act of love will accumulate into a transformation so deep that her life will carry the mark of heaven's intervention, guided by your courage, your obedience, and your steadfast love. After that, I see you carrying this truth, not as a weapon to confront her but as a key to unlock her heart. You will approach her with gentleness, letting her feel the steady beat of your love before a single question passes your lips. The air will feel lighter, even electric, as if heaven itself leans in to witness this sacred moment. She may hesitate, her eyes flickering with uncertainty, but she will sense that she is no longer alone. The walls she built to protect herself from judgment will start to soften. Every pause, every quiet breath she takes will be a thread of trust knitting back together. You will notice small signs first, a shift in her posture, the tiniest lift of her shoulders, the way her hands unclench. These are the invisible cues of a spirit beginning to release weight it has carried for far too long. You will speak calmly, deliberately, with a patience that mirrors heaven's own timing. And slowly the words she has held in silence will begin to flow. Not all at once, but drop by drop, like a gentle rain nourishing parched soil. Each confession, each hesitant explanation will not repel you, it will draw you closer. You will see her not as broken but as someone still whole, someone whose light was dimmed but never extinguished. I see the angels now more clearly, stationed in the room without being seen, bending over her like protective wings. One whispers courage into her thoughts, another dismantles the subtle lies that tried to take root in her mind, and another stands sentinel over her heart. You will feel it too, a sudden ease, an unspoken understanding, a rhythm in the atmosphere that confirms this is heaven's orchestration. The breakthrough will begin before words fully explain it. She will laugh softly, a real laugh that had been dormant. Her eyes will glisten with relief and a spark of hope that had been buried under invisible chains. Beloved, the person you spoke to will play a pivotal role. Their revelation will make everything fall into place. They hold pieces of a puzzle she could not see, and your careful, loving approach will allow those pieces to fit together naturally. The story she has been carrying alone will make sense, and you will know exactly how to guide her toward freedom without fear, shame, or resentment. You will witness her begin to untangle the subtle threads that have shaped her choices, not by forcing her but by creating a space where truth can breathe. I see the fog lifting from around her like morning mist under sunlight. Her path, once blocked by unseen obstacles, is becoming clear. The hesitation in her steps fades, she begins to move with purpose and courage. Stones that once threatened to trip her are now smooth and supportive beneath her feet. And as she walks, you will walk beside her, a steady presence, a shield, a guide. Every word you speak, every look, Every silent moment you share will reinforce the safety she now feels. Heaven is showing me the weight of your obedience. The act of stepping in at precisely the right moment will do more than protect her, it will ripple through your lives together. Peace will settle in the home like sunlight warming corners that had grown cold. Relationships that were strained or quieted will begin to flourish. Opportunities, joy and restored hope will manifest in ways that seem almost too good to be true, but they will be the tangible proof of heaven's hand moving in direct response to your faithfulness. You will notice subtle changes in her over the days that follow. Her voice will carry a freer tone, her laughter will return full and unguarded. Moments of hesitation or doubt will give way to decision and clarity. The shadows that whispered confusion will lose their influence because the bond between you has been fortified with love, patience, and discernment. This is not a one-time victory, it is a foundation for her future, a blueprint for resilience and trust that will sustain her throughout life. The river of healing that begins in this moment will continue to flow, washing away fear, shame and uncertainty. She will begin to dream openly again, to hope without caution, to step into opportunities she once thought unreachable. And through it all you will witness the transformation, understanding that it was not your strength alone that accomplished this but your obedience to the divine guidance that has led you here. The vision expands before me, I see her standing tall, radiant in light that is no longer filtered by fear. You are beside her, steady, unwavering, a safe harbor in the storm that has now passed. Every act you take from here on is magnified in significance. The conversation you began will cascade into healing, clarity and restoration. The chains of subtle manipulation that threatened to shape her life will dissolve entirely. She will feel deep in her bones that she is safe, loved and empowered to move forward. The light in her eyes will reflect not just relief but a newfound freedom. And in that reflection you will see the tangible proof of heaven's faithfulness. Beloved, remember this, the obedience you have shown, the courage to act despite uncertainty will ripple far beyond this one moment. You will witness restored relationships, renewed joy and blessings in places you did not expect. Doors will open for her, peace will settle in spaces that were once tense or uncertain. And your own spirit will carry the echoes of heaven's intervention, strengthened and reassured that when you step in at the perfect moment miracles unfold exactly as they were meant to. Now I see her walking into the brightness that has always been hers. The path is clear, the stones are smooth and the weight she carried has vanished. She moves with a lightness and confidence born from truth revealed, protection felt and love confirmed. And you, my beloved, will witness it all, the restoration, the joy and the life that was always waiting for her, waiting for you to stand in faith and act. This is the miracle, this is heaven's design. And it begins with your next step. Every time those whispers come, the light of truth will burn them away before they can take root. Your daughter will feel the presence of protection like a warm wind around her, subtle but undeniable. It will give her courage to make choices with clarity, without fear that the past will repeat itself. Even the smallest interactions, laughing with friends, speaking with honesty, sharing her thoughts will now carry a freedom she didn't know she could have. And each time the angels will be at her side guiding her steps and reinforcing the safety that your obedience brought into her life. I see her standing in the kitchen, the sunlight spilling across her face, her movements lighter than before. She picks up her cup, sips slowly and smiles without checking behind her shoulder. That smile carries a new rhythm, a melody of confidence and peace that had been missing for so long. You will notice her more present in moments that once carried tension. Conversations will flow without pretense, and even in silence a gentle connection will exist between you that didn't before. It is as if the storm has passed but the sky remains painted with the soft glow of promise. Beloved, the breakthrough will also bring wisdom. She will begin to recognize patterns that once ensnared her, and without feeling judged she will learn to step away from influences that are not aligned with her well-being. The person you spoke to, the one whose knowledge unlocked so much, will continue to be a quiet ally in her life. Their role will remain subtle, guiding her steps without overpowering, allowing her to reclaim her voice fully. And you as her parent will see the strength that comes from trust restored, trust that is now grounded in both your love and heaven's intervention. I see her laughter rising naturally, spontaneous and unrestrained. It will echo through your home, bringing warmth to every corner that had once felt heavy with tension. And in those moments you will feel a deep gratitude that surpasses words. The relief in your own chest will be palpable because you will recognize the work of heaven flowing through your obedience. Every choice you made to step in, to speak, to protect has led to this restoration. There will be days where challenges return, small ripples meant to test the steadiness of her new freedom. But here is the promise: the foundations built in this breakthrough will hold. She will no longer be as easily swayed by whispers or false promises. Her heart will carry discernment, guided by the lessons she learned in this sacred unfolding. And you will be there, not to control but to continue standing as the steady presence that reminds her she is never alone. I see moments where she reflects quietly, journaling or speaking softly to herself. In these private spaces she is consolidating her newfound peace, cementing the light that has returned. And in those moments heaven will reinforce the bonds of protection around her. Every thread of manipulation that once tried to ensnare her will be cut. Every subtle influence that might have twisted her thoughts will be replaced with clarity, understanding, and resilience. Beloved, your own spirit will also be renewed through this process. The act of obedience, the courage to approach both the person holding pieces of the truth and your daughter with love, will leave a lasting mark on your heart. Chains you didn't realize you were carrying, burdens of fear, doubt, or worry will loosen as you witness her freedom. Your faith, your patience, and your love will ripple through your family and even into spaces you do not yet see. Blessings that were held back will begin to flow into your life because heaven honors those who step into obedience without hesitation. The vision expands further. I see your daughter walking outside, sunlight warming her skin, a gentle breeze brushing past. She pauses, takes a deep breath and lifts her face to the sky. There is a freedom in her posture that is unmistakable. No longer constrained by fear, she moves with a rhythm that reflects joy, clarity, and safety. And as you observe, your heart will swell with the realization that heaven has moved mightily through your hands, your words, and your timing. I see the home itself shifting, the energy becoming lighter, calmer, as if every corner now resonates with the freedom she carries. Conversations between family members are infused with patience and understanding. Moments that once sparked tension now pass with ease. The peace she embodies will ripple outward, touching everyone in proximity and creating an atmosphere that supports continued growth, joy, and love. Beloved, remember this: the breakthrough you initiated is not a one-time event. It is the start of a new season where your daughter's steps are aligned with the light she was always meant to walk in. You will witness her making decisions with confidence, carrying herself with dignity, and embracing opportunities that once seemed impossible. And you will see the tangible proof that obedience to divine guidance brings results that no human effort alone could achieve. Finally, the vision shows me her fully stepping into life again, moving with freedom, joy, and clarity. She is surrounded by light, protected and empowered. The chains are gone, the shadows dissipated, and the path ahead glows with possibility. And you, beloved, stand at her side, a living testament to love, faith, and the power of listening to heaven's voice. Every moment you acted, every word you spoke in obedience has culminated in this restoration. Your role was vital, your presence was essential. And the peace, joy, and protection that now fill her life are the direct fruit of the courage and love you showed when the moment demanded it. This is the miracle heaven has orchestrated. This is the victory that belongs to both of you. And as she walks forward radiant and whole, you will know without question that God's hand has moved perfectly, and that your obedience was the bridge between the shadow she faced and the life she was always meant to embrace. Beloved, as these changes begin to take root in her life, you will notice the subtle ways heaven rearranges circumstances to favor her. The shadows that once whispered doubts into her mind will grow quieter. The hesitation that made her pause before stepping forward will be replaced with confidence that radiates from her very being. Every choice she makes will start to reflect the light that was always intended for her path. And you, my child, will see your own faith reflected back at you through her joy. The prayers you whispered in secret, the moments you stood in the gap when no one else knew, these will now bear fruit. You will recognize in her laughter the answer to your persistent pleas, the proof that heaven was listening all along. God is also showing me small, seemingly ordinary moments that will carry immense weight. A shared glance that communicates understanding without words, a conversation that drifts into heartfelt honesty, a touch, a hug, a gentle reminder that she is not alone. Each of these moments will reinforce the bond between you, rebuilding trust that may have felt fragile, even lost. Beloved, you will also see her courage returning. The decisions she feared making on her own will now be met with clarity, guided by the wisdom she draws from your presence. And every victory, no matter how small, will be a visible reminder that the unseen hand of heaven is moving in your lives. Even the obstacles that once seemed unshakable will begin to crumble. The influences that tried to steer her away from her purpose will find no foothold. Doors that were closed without reason will swing open. Opportunities for growth, for learning, for meaningful connections will come in ways that seem almost miraculous. And with each unfolding blessing, your heart will swell with the quiet assurance that God honors obedience, that He rewards those who stand for the protection and freedom of those they love. Beloved, this is more than rescue, it is restoration, a clearing of what was dark and a planting of light. It is a season of renewed hope, a time when joy can settle in without interruption and peace can anchor deeply into the soul. And all of it begins with the choice you make today to act, to speak, to step into your divine assignment with unwavering courage and love. Amen.